Hey Scorpio, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so we take what works, leave what doesn't, as with everything in life. If you don't find your energy wave or storyline represented in this reading, check your other major placements. And also, you can get a personal reading from me. Dear, oh dear. That was half the deck there. You can also get a personal reading from me at Empress Rose 1111. Oh my gosh. This wants to tell you everything. I don't know that I can do this. I'm going to take this thing. But none of that makes sense. Okay. Okay. All right. We're going to take these. There are no mistakes in tarot. But I can't read you an entire book. Also, it would probably get pretty repetitious because there tends to be when I get a book like that, it tends to be just like a bunch of repeated things with just different nuances in each card. So, fascinating. Oh dear, you had something happen in the past. Something happened in the past. Your heart's a little bit ready to move on and move forward. This is called Red Garden. But something in your mind changed. So something really obvious and big changed in your life. And then there was also something a little bit quieter and tinier that changed right here. But you're looking at the past and how that change happened and how that all unfolded. And you've got some sort of skewed vision with it. I don't even want to say that you see it better than it was. But you see it different than what it was. There's something inaccurate about the way you're looking back at the past. And your heart's ready to move on, but you're still a little wrapped up in what's going on back there. But here your heart's looking at the past, and you have this grief process. This is Morning Dew Girl. So there's a lot of tears, a lot of crying, a lot of grief. Something ended, and here your heart is still looking at the past. So that's funny because in one of them we've got your heart looking at the future, and the other one we've got your heart looking at the past. But there was an ending here. This grief process is for your own growth. You're going to benefit from it. You're going to grow from it. You're going to move forward, and you're going to take these lessons forward with you. And as you go through this process, you are going to be growing. And so she's collecting the dew off of this dahlia, and she's going to bring it to some other place in the garden. So, but she definitely has an ending here. It's on her mind, and it's created some grief. You may not be seeing it very clearly. You might be of two minds. Part of you might be ready to move forward, and part of you might still be looking back at the past here. But there is something in your vision that's not right about the past, or something just not quite accurate, or affecting how you see things, or something like that. And here we have Tiny Triumphs. I haven't seen this card in a while. It was a popular card for a long time. We have the instinct coming forward in a really bold way, making a bold statement, your intuition, your instinct. I view this mouse as being pure instinct. I can almost see him quivering all instinct in the field. And now he's popped out. And here, who's usually in charge? The raven, the apex species, the most intelligent species. The intelligence is really in charge. But right here we're having the intuition pop out and be more in charge. And it's got something to say. It's got something big to say, big to talk about. It might have to do with your home situation. But it's this little field mouse is suddenly this big harlequin. And there might be a little bit of a joke in there for you. Like a little bit of something that's a little bit ironic, a little bit funny. But whoever's been in charge and the intellect or someone who's been in charge is no longer in charge in this card. And it's a little bit funny. It's a little bit humorous. And your intuition's just going to pop out and have something to say here. And then we have Oh Sunny Day here. So we have things are looking really good, which is so funny because we've got this grief. We've got this stuff that changed in the past, and your heart's a little bit confused and doesn't know which way to go. And you've got this grief process of something that changed in your life. And then you've got this intuition, and now you've got this like balanced view. There's a little bit magical. You're looking at a pretty bright future, actually. You may not be able to see it because you're still in this grief process over the past, but you're looking at a very bright, hopeful future. It's just all light. And yeah, you've got this grief with you. You're a little bit of a grieving widow still. But overall, you've got this really positive future that you're looking at. A little bit magical future here. Okay, and then I combined these Work Your Light and Moonology. Poor Virgo, I didn't do it for theirs at all. But Work Your Light's a new deck that I've been working with. I've been working with it personally for some time now, but now we're bringing it out into here, and I guess I needed some training wheels on it, so we combined it with the Moonology deck. Ooh, lovely. We have this new moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. I'm not sure you're ready for a new romantic cycle based on the grief I'm seeing, but here we go. Oh, sunny day. A new romantic cycle begins. It's going to be balanced, even, fair, communication. Libra is all about communication and balance. So this is these two things, these two sides working together. Then we have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? So this card can be about wanting to go somewhere, wanting to do something, but not having a lot of clarity on it, and having some difficulty, some struggles getting there. The path doesn't seem very clear to you. The path forward isn't very clear. You're a little bit lost out in this desert. You've got some barriers you've got to get around. But this is saying you are going to get there. It's just going to be a little bit confusing for a while. But you know where you're going, which is nice. That's unusual sometimes in life. You know where you're going. You just don't have a clear path to get there. It's just sort of this no man's land of sand and rivers, and there's just not a clear path to where you're going. It may take some unraveling. You may have to try a couple different things, a couple different routes to get there. But you are supported. So trust your path. Trust that you're going where you need to go. And I'm saying there's no path, but that's my vibe of the card, is that there isn't much of a path. You're making your own path. So that means there isn't one. There's not one that you're following. You're just kind of making it and figuring it out and kind of feeling your way around and getting the lay of the land with every step you take and trying to figure out what your next step is. It's your path. That means it's not a beaten path. That means there's no signposts on it. That means it's a little bit of a no man's land, and you're doing things your way and moving forward in your way. Ooh, and I like this one too. Mirror, triggering you. That may or may not make sense, but mirror is about looking at the world and seeing your reflection. Like the whole world is a little bit of a big Rorschach blotch, and we all just, those blotches that the psychologists show you, and you're like, oh, that looks like two elephants screwing a bus. And then they're like, you're crazy because that's not, and it's just a blotch, and then you project onto it. That's a little bit of like what all of life is. It's just a big blotch, and you're projecting your story, your ideas, and this could relate to this thing about you projecting something onto the world. So what you're seeing is typically a reflection of what you want to see. So my way around that is wanting to see the truth, and if that's what I want to see, I'm more likely to see that no matter where that takes me or what that does. Because the truth will have its way with you. The truth will set you free, but first it'll have its way with you. That's a quote from somebody, and I can't remember who. I think also this mirroring, I've experienced this card also personally, like if we're dealing with a relationship, like look at this balance, this even. If you're dealing with a balanced, even relationship, you're saying, I love you, and they're saying, I love you, and you're saying, I'm here for you, and they're saying, I'm here for you. So that's what we might be experiencing with this mirroring card. I feel like there's two ways to view that card, and I think both are going to be valid. For some people, it'll be one way, and for other people, it'll be another way. But so what you're seeing in someone else could just be a reflection of yourself, what you're seeing from the past and this ending that you've gone through, and this it could be just a reflection of your own fears and your own self. So that's something to explore at least. But I also like it with this new romantic cycle beginning, a balanced, even. And I think trust your path is saying that it might not be this new relationship. And it could be a romantic relationship. I also think it could be we have all sorts of very important relationships in our lives, not just the romantic ones. So it could be a relationship in which you've got to figure out, we've got this intuitive card here, and we've got this trust your path card. So you've got to figure out your own path, and your intuition is going to be guiding you through this path. And it could have to do with this relationship, with this new beginning of just creating something new that reflects who you are and who the other person is more. All right, we're going into the Ethereal Visions deck, Scorpio. So this is your past, this is your present, this is your inner landscape, this is your what's that issue? I got something came out here, just popped out here, and it just isn't part of. So anyway, your environment, we'll talk about it, but your environment, your to-do list, and your possible outcome. This looks more like maybe a work situation, a new work relationship beginning here. And it's going to be fair, it's going to be even. You're not going to be giving everything you've got to get a couple pennies from them. This popped out. I'm not sure where it has no placement. It just came out into my hand. In a weird way. So this is Ten of Pentacles. This has to do with inheritance. Maybe you lost someone and you're going to inherit something from them. This could also typically deals with money, family money issues. It could also be an inheritance of ideas, an inheritance of concepts that we get from our families. But Ten of Pentacles, very fulfilling financial situation, talking about legacies, talking about inheritance. You could be inheriting, or you could be thinking about what kind of legacy you're going to be leaving for your family. In your recent past, you have the Wheel of Fortune. You've had a change of fortunes. Well, we do see this ending here. And we also see this inheritance thing. So you've had a change of fortunes. There's been something, you were poor, you're now rich. Like, just... it feels random to us. I believe in my heart that it's all connected, but it feels like luck. But there is like some sort of connection, and I don't always know which direction that goes, or if it's cause and effect, which is the cause, which is the effect. And since time is sort of irrelevant, sometimes I've wondered if our effects were actually the causes, and I don't know. But anyway, this has to do with luck and fortunes changing. So the Wheel of Fortune turned. You didn't see yourself turning it, you didn't see it being turned, but it looks like the Wheel of Fortune turned and brought in a Tower moment here. So this is what you're experiencing right now. This could be this loss we're experiencing, and we're grieving right now. This could also be this switch coming out in this really dramatic way, this intuitive vibe. Coming out here and triumph, this thing that was small suddenly becoming really big and a really big deal. So you're having a Tower moment. This is about realizations. This is about something coming in. I think it was this Wheel of Fortune turning. Something coming in and really rocking your world, maybe dethroning somebody that was top dog or in charge, or removing a mask of some kind, someone who something wasn't meant to be forever or permanently. So these Tower moments come in, and they come in to destroy our Lego tower, but the pieces are all still there and they're still functioning, and then it builds something else. So there was somebody or something in this tower that wasn't supposed to be there long term. So it was designed to fall apart like a Lego building. Well, like the Legos I used to have, where they weren't kits. You just like had a mass of Legos and you built whatever the fuck you want to build. And was it shitty? Yeah. But you know what? It was you, and it was your imagination doing the whole thing. And you know what? It also wasn't a big deal if someone tore it apart, because you could just build something else the next day. There was no kit. So kits are fine. They're great. Lots of people like them. But my concept of Legos, and the concept I'm talking about right now, is about that old style where you put it together and then you take it up for the purpose of taking it apart and then putting it together, this modular building stuff. So that's what life is these modular pieces And sometimes, you know, our kid brother comes in and destroys what we've made, and or whoever, you know, comes in and destroys. But it was meant to be destroyed because it was Legos. It was always meant to come apart like this. At least the Legos I played with. And then someone's been dethroned. This can be a really big, shocking moment, a revelation coming in. This is like 20 of Swords, all this truth coming in, and things coming in to really shake things up. Your hope is you're hoping for some clarity. This is the Knight of Swords. You're dreaming of some clarity, some focus, some truth coming in. Well, we've got like a massive amount of truth bombs, but in the middle of all that, that can like create confusion and difficulty. So here you're hoping for some swift moving, possibly justice, possibly fairness, but some swift moving, very focused clarity here. This is what you're longing for in this whole situation. And of course, a Tower moment is going to have you longing for some clarity here. There might be too much going on, and you're wanting a clear communication. You're hoping for a clear, focused, precise communication and ideas. In your issues, we have the Chariot. And so, like upright, this would be some fast-moving energy, maybe a trip, maybe a journey. None of that's happened. Maybe your trip or journey got canceled. There's not a lot of movement, which is funny because this is all like massive movement, and this is all like, whoop, hold up, nothing's going to move forward now, and not a lack of success. So maybe you've been very successful, and maybe you've lost your job or lost something here, and this can be the Chariot can be some swift moving success or some travel. And we're not having travel, and we're actually not having the swift-moving success we have grown accustomed to in our life. So then in your environment, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Someone's put in a lot of work, and they're waiting for the fruition, and the fruition's not coming in. You're waiting for it, though. You're watching it. It's an impatient vibe here. You know, who stands in, I mean, you can stand in your garden and enjoy your garden and like your garden, but who stands there and watches the fruit ripen? That's a little like impatient. But someone here has put a lot of work into something, and they'd like to see a return on their investment, and it looks like they're just going to stand there and watch it. So there's a little bit of an impatient vibe, like you feel like you're deserving something, like you've earned something, or somebody here does, and they're not getting it. They're not getting it quite yet, but there's a expectation. Maybe there's like this is like 41 weeks into a 40-week pregnancy. You're just like, okay, now ready to have this baby. You're overdue. This is the feeling around you, as being overdue for some sort of reward, maybe some sort of clarity, because I'm seeing this is what you desire, but this is what you're dealing with, is this no man's land. You know where you're going, but you just got to figure out how to get there. And there's a process to getting there. And then what your to-do list is this King of Swords. So you're hoping for the Knight of Swords. What you need to do is get the King of Swords. This is seeing both sides, being very intellectual. Here we have our Raven here. So this is what you're being called into, is this intellectual vibe, is this king vibe, this king of ideas, this king of intelligence, this king of clear communication. And he can see both sides of the story. He can see, he's very balanced, very even. He can see both situations, equal, the both sides of the story. He's very fair, very even-handed, a lot of clarity, a lot of intelligence. So this is the energy you need to come into, is this King of Swords, this top dog of intelligence, of communication, of fairness, of clarity. And I find it really interesting because these seem to be almost opposite cards. We've both got this raven, the symbol of the apex species of birds. So the most intelligent, the most the most intelligent. But here we have this sort of joker who can tell a joke to the king, and the king can hear it, because this is the only person that can speak this truth to the king, and he can hear that truth. It's this harlequin joker character in the court, and it looks like this joker's come in to tell this king something. Here's the king. So you're going to be able to hear, I think, what this joker or trickster is coming in to tell you, and you're going to be able to integrate it into your understanding of the truth, and you're going to be able to hear that truth and deal with it appropriately, or you're going to be able to, something's going to come, some kind of truth is going to come in a different way that you're used to hearing, but you're going to be able to deal with it. It's going to be integrated. And this is what you need to do. You need to integrate the message that this Harlequin brings in for you, that this jokester, trickster, this little trick comes in. And we're seeing a lot of balance here. We're seeing this mirroring balance. Look how he's holding this on both sides. He sees both sides of the truth, both sides of the story. And we have this balance, this fairness, is seeing both sides of the situation. And this mirroring, it could be talking about seeing both sides of the situation, seeing your side of the mirror and the other person's side of the mirror, or, you know, understanding the projection and understanding perception and how that can be really different. And then a possible outcome here is this Page of Pentacles. This is learning. This could be going back to school. This could be starting a new job. This is learning about money management, learning about something about money. It could be learning about this inheritance, or she's just received this money and she needs to learn about it, or this job, or this thing. In reality, the pentacles deal with our physical world, and she can see it, and she's here to inspect it and watch it and learn about it, very curious about it. So being very curious about money and being very curious about maybe a new job or a new position that you get because you come into this energy of being highly intelligent, highly fair, and a very clear communicator. That brings this coin right into your hand for you to look at and learn about and have a lot of curiosity and wonder about. So, all right, Scorpio, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your likes, subscribes, and comments. I personally find them encouraging and fun to interact with you guys on the YouTube channel. And it also raises the visibility of this channel so that other people can find these messages too. So I hope you have a great week. Bye.